key to success in this racket is this little baby right here. It's called cocaine.
You're able to do drugs during the day and still function, still do your job?
Well, how the f else would you do this job? Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
Right.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Got to put on my Sherlock Holmes cap and smoke my pipe to figure out who left the cocaine in the White House. Who could it possibly be? I don't know. Maybe we should talk to some people who've done tons of cocaine on camera. Famously, the Wolf of Wall Street, actually. I'm not talking about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden also, in fact. And maybe Hunter Biden was at the White House. They keep lying about where Hunter was that day. So maybe they should come clean. Somebody who has come clean is Jordan Belfort. As far as I know, he's no longer a addicted degenerate. But the famous movie, The Wolf of Wall Street, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, Jonah Hill, and others, sort of showed Jordan Belfort's degenerates and the fraudulence inside of his Wall Street firm. This is a movie that, again, got really high ratings, has like an 8.2 or a 9 here on IMDb, 8.2 out of 10. Big time popularity. Released in 2013. Jordan Belfort joined Jesse Waters to talk about what he knows about cocaine and the abuse of it, and who he believes left that bag of coke inside of the White House. The old dime bag booger sugar. Jordan Belfort knows a thing or two about that.
So we've spoken to former Secret Service agents, former FBI guys, former White House staff. Now it's time to hear from a former cocaine addict, the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, who Leonardo DiCaprio portrayed in Martin Scorsese's film, Wolf of Wall Street. So what do your instincts tell you, Jordan?
So listen, obviously I don't know for sure, but here's my theory. The obvious person to point to is Hunter Biden. Why? Because the action, like what people aren't focused on is why would someone take it out of their pocket and leave it somewhere? The answer is because when you're in that mindset of an addict, you want to have like little drop points so you can kind of sneak in, take a quick hit, leave it there for safekeeping, and come back. So it was being stored somewhere. In other words, you could easily keep it in your pocket, get in and out without getting detected. So the person that put it there had to be there on a consistent basis to keep using it undetected. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, listen, hopefully he stopped, but people typically don't stop using a drug unless they've suffered massive consequences. And this guy hasn't suffered consequences for anything, whether it's not declaring taxes, whether it's going on the board of Burisma and why was he there, whether it's becoming a famous artist overnight and selling scribble scrabble for hundreds of thousands of dollars, no consequences there. So why would he have stopped using drugs? I wonder, when there's no consequences. Typically, that's just not the way it happens, although I seriously hope he's not still an addict. That's my theory.
Yeah, we hope he's not back. But you're saying if you're an addict, you don't like to have it on you all the time. You like to maybe keep it in a little spot.
You will sometimes have it on you. You'll have it in one spot that's not detected by cameras. So the person had to know where the cameras weren't looking, right? So that's the first thing. He'll probably have 2, 3, 4 different little drop spots that he could just sneak in, or she could sneak in, take a quick hit or two, and there you go. Now, I don't think it's Joe Biden because, listen, he'd probably sound a lot sharper on TV if he was using coke. But, I think if you had to look at someone there, I would think, and again, no proof here, that Hunter is the obvious culprit.
All
That's
right.
my opinion.
You haven't seen any suspicious activity out of Hunter? I mean, I did see him carrying a backpack around. They never had him open up the backpack. They never even interviewed him.
Yeah, well, the backpack is not even the least of it. So the way he was sweating in the video I saw, I think it was July 2nd, and he had that kind of crazed look in his eye, a bit too much sweat on his brow, and he had that sort of weird, far away being about him that just kind of screamed there's something going on there, maybe some blow. But again, no proof. I don't want to get myself sued, but that's my suspicion.
We don't want to get ourselves into any trouble on the first night. Jordan, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay, Jordan Belfort saying, it's pretty obvious that it was Hunter Biden, White House cocaine culprit, could not be Joe because he'd probably sound a lot sharper on TV. Convicted fraudster and former cocaine addict Belfort spoke about his theory about who's behind the cocaine culprit, White House. 61-year-old's comment came during a Jesse Waters primetime interview. The stunning move last week, the Secret Service closed, citing lack of evidence. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, got it. Real-life Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. It's obvious to him who left the cocaine in the White House. Joe Biden's not sharp enough, he says. Last week, the Secret Service closed their investigation, citing a lack of evidence. Now, we'll have a clip for you from Dan Bongino in just a moment about that, because that's some hot garbage. The mindset of the addict is what Belfort talks about, saying effectively that Hunter Biden walking around with a little red backpack everywhere. Obviously, I don't know for sure, but here's my theory. Belfort said the obvious person is Hunter Biden. Why? Because of the addiction. What people aren't focusing on is why would somebody take it out of their pocket and leave it somewhere? The answer is because when you're in the mindset of an addict, you don't want to have little drop points so you can sneak in, take a quick hit, leave it there for safekeeping, and come back. So it's being stored somewhere. In other words, you could keep easily in your pocket and get in and out without getting detected. So the person that put it there had to be on a consistent basis using it undetected. That actually makes a ton of sense. Hunter Biden and his family enjoyed the 4th of July fireworks celebration at the White House when the cocaine was discovered. This actually makes a ton of sense. People don't typically stop using the drug unless they've suffered massive consequences, and Hunter Biden has suffered no consequences. In fact, we have detailed on this program, gone out of our way to actually detail on this program how Hunter Biden has been using cocaine and illegal narcotics since 1988 when he was 18 years old, back when I was 1 year old. 1988 was Hunter Biden's first time getting nabbed in New Jersey for using a controlled substance. Daddy got him out of jail, didn't even have a mugshot. Then Hunter Biden goes on to admit to using cocaine all throughout college at Georgetown, while his father was locking up young black men from coast to coast with his harsh drug laws and rules against drug users. And then, of course, Hunter Biden gets kicked out of the Navy, and Daddy comes and saves him again because he tests positive for cocaine. Hunter Biden then moved directly into effectively running a crime syndicate then for the entire family, the final degenerate step in his life. So Jordan Belfort saying, nah, man, this has to be Hunter because you're just you're a coked out addict. The Secret Service, apparently agents are furious, absolutely furious over the cocaine farce, saying it's embarrassing because they know exactly who it was. Now, of course, this is an interview with Dan Bongino. I'll play it for you in just 1 second. But having been to the White House, having gone and seen these exact locations as to where they found the cocaine, there are cameras everywhere. This is not a highly trafficked area. Very few people use these entrances. Only the personal family of the president would get waved past Secret Service, where there are drug-sniffing dogs, where there are drug detection facilities on White House property. You can't just bring a bag of white powder into the White House. No, ladies and gentlemen. You got big issues here. You have to be facial recognition waved into the White House, and that's exactly what happened with Hunter Biden. That's exactly what happened with the Biden family. Dan Bongino lays it all out here.
One of my former colleagues in the Secret Service who retired, they are absolutely furious about this.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I tell you, I got 50 emails, communications, texts from people. This is embarrassing, humiliating. These are good guys, man. Guys who've worked for Obama and Bush. The nonpartisan guys, most of them aren't even political. This is embarrassing. They know exactly who it was.
Wow. So do these people want it to come out that it was probably Hunter Biden?
Well, the question is it Hunter or one of his friends? But here's the thing. So I'm in the Secret Service 12 years, a good amount of time. We never had this problem. So nobody by Occam's razor, right? The process of deduction, keep things simple, keep it simple, stupid, Occam's razor, right? You got this guy, we never found coke in there before. You got a dude who's doing coke on tape, who's got a reputation of being a cokehead. He's living in the White House. He's there on Friday. The coke's found on Sunday, and everybody's like, gosh, Who could it be?
So yeah, Bongino says that the colleagues from his time, 12 years in the Secret Service, in fact, are furious because they all know who did this. They are all aware. Secret Service agents turned news anchor Dan Bongino says that his colleagues are fuming over the shutdown of the investigation into the cocaine found at the White House. They know exactly who was stashing the drugs. Again, did Joe Biden potentially use this drug as well? I mean, we've shown you footage of Joe Biden with his eyeballs like popping out of his head. And then a few hours later, in the same spot, the same location, wearing the same suit, Joe Biden's all sleepy and like comatose. Who knows? Who knows? Megyn Kelly knows. Megyn Kelly. So I mean, listen, dude. If you're combining Dan Bongino, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson on this, along with Donald Trump, and everyone's been talking about this, then you do, in fact, have a major issue. Kelly ripping the shutting down of the Coke-Head at the White House probe, saying effectively that you're just eroding any last little shreds of credibility here inside of the Secret Service. Pretty embarrassing stuff. Watch.
I have to say, if there actually were a desire to get to the bottom of this, I mean, let's say it's an alternate scenario in which it's a piece of a bomb that they found in the cubby. You don't think the Secret Service would be able to find the guy? You don't think the Secret Service would be interviewing those 500 witnesses? Because they know who all of them are. As the congressman was pointing out, you know exactly who goes into the White House and when over that limited period of time. And there's just not a desire. I realized it was not a huge amount of coke. But the point is there a cokehead in the White House? It was right outside of the Situation Room, or at least not far from the Situation Room, which is under construction. But my point is they have access. They were pointing out earlier, it's not far from where the vice president parks her limousine. Let's find out. Trump is out there saying we can't have a cokehead in the White House. Not a bad point. They would be able to find out if only they would investigate. And why did they have to wrap it up within a week of the news breaking?
My final clip that I will leave you with, ladies and gentlemen, is the best clip. This is Tucker Carlson doing an impression of Joe Biden on cocaine at the White House. Doesn't get better than this from this weekend as well. Again, if you're creating the infinity stones of people who are going to call bullshit on you and your stupid narrative, Megyn Kelly, the Wolf of Wall Street, Donald Trump, Dan Bongino, Tucker Carlson. Boom. There's your infinity gauntlet. Bam. Take it, Tucker.
What'd you say? I don't know what, you know what? The thing about that story, it's just a mystery to me. No one was more shocked than I was. Are you serious? In the Biden White House, somebody left an 8-ball of cocaine in a public. I was like, I said to my wife, it's just not in character. You know? I just don't believe it. It's clearly a setup. I went right back to Marion Barry and I was like, somebody set you up. I'm serious. It was, you know what I mean? It was like, it was, I'll stop with it. That was my favorite story of all time. Because it just explains all the behavior. It really does. I mean, I worked in the media business for my whole life, so I know what the behavior looks like. But it's like crazed and grandiose. I've got a plan. You're not going to believe it. It's unbelievable. It's going to totally work. What we're going to do is we're going to totally rearrange everything, okay? We've been doing things a certain way for a long time, okay? And it's worked, but I've got a better plan. And that's their entire approach.